Have you stretched your butt lately? It's vlogging day 616. Oh man, that's the spot. Yeah.
I tried to get a good night's sleep last night. I did the best that I could. I came back here, like instead of going out and being social for very long. The meetup last night was great. Met a lot of really interesting people. Had a nice time seeing some people I already knew. It was wonderful. I came back here because I felt like dying. Edited my vlog, and then went to bed. I think I got to bed like just after midnight, which wasn't bad. But then all the drunks in my hotel came back about the same time. Well, shortly after I tried to go to bed. There was a lot of noise, and people really don't know how to use these doors. And if you're not careful with these doors, they make an alarm noise. I've got at least 2 neighbors that don't know how to open their door without making the alarm noise, so. The irony is that as I literally was editing this part, Who? You okay right there?
Yeah, I don't know why it's making this noise.
Does that when the door is ajar? Like if you
Push it.
pull it all the way in. Just try to pull it closed.
Okay.
There you go.
Got it.
Also, some sounds that I cannot describe to you and keep the vlog PG-13. So, somehow a bunch of them are early risers too. I don't know that I actually slept. Anywho, I've got to do, I want to get back to VidCon, obviously. I've got a lot of business cards that my hat was buried under there. I'm missing the first thing this morning because I was trying to sleep. The first thing didn't look the most interesting. This is the danger though too. Once you fall into like feeling like the content of a conference isn't the best, it's pretty easy to just like start skipping it because, you know, sleep, you hope for sleep at least. And so today I thought I'd talk a little bit about like conferences. Are they worth it and why? We've talked about this a little bit before, but I've gone to a bunch of different like conventions, conferences between the writing side of things and now the VidCon side of things or the YouTube side of things. And I'm trying to keep it a little bit simpler today. So we'll just talk a little bit about, is it worth going to conventions or not? And then tomorrow I can talk about whether or not I feel like VidCon Europe has been worth it or not, because I want to give today a full shot as well. And yesterday was pretty nice. It's been very social, at least, which is one of the key components. Speaking of being social, I'm not going to be super social. I also had 3 cups of coffee yesterday, which probably didn't help me sleep, but I'm hungry. Get out of here. I figured that it was safest to make sure to get something on the way, because even if there's free stuff there again today, but it'd be my luck that there wouldn't be, then I would be both hungry and like decaffeinated and underslept, and that would be a bad combination. Now, on whether I find conferences worth it or not, I think there are a couple things to take into account. Oh my gosh, my coffee's going crazy. Hold on. I think the main thing is to ask yourself what you're hoping to get out of a convention or a conference, and then make sure it actually aligns with that. Because for me, when I started going to science fiction fantasy conventions, it was very much about meeting other authors and just trying to make friends. Because I'd written in isolation for a really long time. I started writing books while I was in South Africa and Sierra Leone, and there wasn't exactly a bustling writing community for me to jump into in the places I was at. I felt very isolated. And so the main thing for me was I wanted to go and make friends. And if you go into it with the mentality of making friends, I think conferences are really worth it because you have the opportunity to do exactly that. You're surrounded by people who are interested in the same things you're interested in, assuming you chose the conference wisely and didn't go to some random thing you're not interested in. And as long as you don't go into it with like a networking mentality. The difference between networking and making friends, I feel like should be fairly obvious, but it's not always. And you'll see both going on. When you're in a conference or a convention, there are going to be a lot of people who basically just are there to hand out business cards and aren't really interested in getting to know anybody. And my mentality with that is very much different. I think that when you're at a conference and when you're making friends, you should do your best to reach out and give. Whether that's listening, asking questions, getting to know somebody, subscribing to people at a YouTube conference, or buying someone's book even, if you meet another author at a fantasy or science fiction convention. All of those things are really good ways to start making friends and to give. and you might not get anything in return, but that's kind of what friendship is about. So going into it with the mentality that you may not get anything in return, I think is a healthy mentality. So for me, to start, I went to get friends, and that was important. The second question is whether or not there's any, worthwhile professional development that goes on. And I think that's kind of that's the question that we're all wrestling with this weekend. I realize this is still recording. Do I have croissant in my beard? Oh, I have coffee in my hand, I can tell you that much. Yeah. Side note, one, I feel like I belong, which is really nice as far as the European thing. Like, I'm a French resident and I'm like legal to be here as a European resident, basically. I don't know the full legality of it all, but I definitely feel like, yes, I belong. So that's a nice feeling. The other side note is what's different between being at a video conference as opposed to a writing conference is that at a writing conference, if you stay out, maybe you drink a little too much, maybe you're kind of miserable in the morning, you can look like I look right now and not pay any price for that because nobody's filming. It's a bunch of writers. You all look ridiculous anyways. At a video conference, you're gonna be getting filmed a lot and you need to be on your game to some degree and at least be, animate, mostly alive. Sorry. Last side note, Amela, Nicole, I think that I need to go back. I've sent thank yous to most everybody on Patreon who's up to their pledges recently, but thank you so much. And if I haven't, I'll send you one here soon. I've just been a little bit overwhelmed. Okay, done with the side notes. Next thing about the convention, I was talking about professional development. This is the harder part because, and I feel for people who are organizing conventions on this, it's really hard to hit everybody in a group. So either you go really advanced, you try to stay really basic, like where is your audience? How do you meet them? How do you meet their needs? So I feel that, and I think that's the struggle that VidCon has. More than anything is knowing where to hit their needs. Last year, it very much felt like it was either too far left or too far right. Where it was like, have you ever seen a video? We'll tell you all about what a video is. Or on the other side, it was like, hey, would you like to hire your first HR department? We'll walk you through the process of setting up your own set of C-suite executives. That was the kind of thing that we were at last time. It didn't really hit the mark. I think the difference between like fan-based, community-oriented conventions and professional ones is going to be that when you fall into a particular niche like YouTube, there's not a lot of conferences to go to. Going to a fan-based thing, if you're there to consume, you're there to see particular people, you're there to just kind of be a part of that community. It's a lot easier to find something that kind of floats your boat. But when it comes to the professional side, like last year I was saying they either were way too basic or way too like far down the line of like corporate video production, like company building. This year, when we started off yesterday, it definitely was way too like corporate, like take over the world size type stuff. But the second one was good. It hit right in the middle. It was very practical advice for YouTubers where they're at. Brought enough advice within the 10 different things he was saying that it was able to basically hit anybody where they were at. I feel like you had to be able to take something away from a talk like that. We all give VidCon a particularly hard time, especially after last year, for not really putting on the best conference, but I don't know for sure how they would, I don't know. Yes, I think they could develop the content better. Yes, I think that they could provide better content, but do I feel their pain? Absolutely. And do I recommend coming to something like this for professional development? Maybe. I think with all things, I would keep my expectations within certain bounds. So, for example, on the friendship making side of things, you're not going to be able to make friends with everybody that you want to make friends with. That's one of the things that was hardest for me when I started, was that, some people have more walls up than others. Some people are just going to get along better than other people. So you're going to be able to make friends with some people and not with others. And that's the reality. And I want to make friends with pretty much everybody. But I too am not going to get along with everybody. I don't want to go into any situation expecting anybody to be my friend effectively. I just want to offer what I've got and see what lands, what sticks. Similarly with the professional development side of things, you come, you pick the stuff you think is going to be closest to what you want to learn, the things that you're hoping are really going to be where you're at and help you, and that you can walk away with something under your belt, and that you can walk away with something new under your belt. But I think it's good to save those expectations or keep your expectations low and be like, well, I may not learn anything, but at least I'll be surrounded by other creators and we can all suffer together. So are these worth it? If you can afford it, yes. And I think that I've always walked away from conferences and conventions, all of them, having learned something, having grown, having made a friend. And as long as those things, like a little bit of personal growth, maybe a little bit of professional growth, and making a couple new connections are high on your priority list, that's great. Whether or not you actually maintain those connections, whether or not they actually develop into friendships, that's a whole other thing. Hopefully you're able to adult your way through that. But if nothing else, I think it feeds something, especially with like a creators conference like this for VidCon. At least it helps you not feel super isolated, which is really, really nice between both video, and I feel much less isolated on the video side than I did on the writing side, but it definitely makes a huge difference on that side as well. So is it worth it? Yes, absolutely. So if they do another VidCon Extra, will I be here? Probably. We're walking to shoot a quick video with Holly, which I will link to her channel below. I probably will give my thoughts on VidCon tonight because I think I've got an idea for what I want to do in Amsterdam tomorrow, and I don't want to talk about VidCon anymore after this is over. So we'll give it the rest of the afternoon and I'll formulate my thoughts and then just call it good. So there will be a recap at the end. There, she's aware she's in it this time. Yeah. Yeah, you have.
I was, yeah.
You were in it yesterday.
It's on my watch later list. You can get into it.
She had no idea though. Just in case you wonder what YouTubers did in their off time.
Not always.
Are you finished, Mr. Slade? No, I'm just getting warmed up.
We're filming in this incredible loft, which these stairs look like they go to nowhere, but maybe... Ooh, attic space. Anyways, we're gonna film a video about South African slang.
Yeah.
See if we know any South African slang.
yeah.
I'm gonna step on a light bulb apparently. You broke the lamp yesterday.
Not me, Ella.
But she left the glass here, so now it's stuck in my shoe. That could have been in my foot.
Oh, dude.
I could have died.
Die.
So, whoa, hey, popcorn. Thank you so much.
For you, a kg of popcorn.
That's gonna last me all of like 3 hours. And then I think we're gonna do a whole group video about our thoughts on how VidCon could be better. Do you think we're gonna do that?
I think so.
So, but I'll share kind of my thoughts to end the vlog just very briefly, and then I'll link to, I'm guessing Holly's video or whoever's channel it ends up on, and you can go see our full thoughts there. We have some pessimism, we have some positivity, we have a lot of things.
A little bit of everything.
We have a little bit of everything. We have thoughts to share. So
We're like balanced human beings.
we are. We try to be. You're balanced.
I mean, kind of.
I'm not balanced. I haven't slept in like 3 weeks. How many cameras can we get in here? Hello. Well, that was nice. I think we did a good job of discussing the things that we want to see improve with VidCon in the video that we made over at the German house. I think I can fairly say that it's mostly German actually. It was really, really nice. It was good to sit down and talk it through with everybody. So what I'm going to share is actually kind of what my fear is. I shared this a little bit in the video, and I actually made sure to share this with some VidCon staff. But my main fear with anything, so I think VidCon is worth it, in that it's the only real opportunity we have in Europe, as far as I'm aware, for a multinational and international meeting of video creators, YouTube creators like this. I made some great friends this weekend. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the people that I met this weekend again in the not too distant future. And without VidCon, it's just such a great opportunity for that to happen. There's no perfect convention. It's a really hard thing to put on. So I'm really glad that they're doing it. I think my main fear is that I'm worried that if I were to give a negative review, the 5 of you that see this might reconsider coming to VidCon. I really wasn't sure if I was going to come, and if Paul hadn't paid for me to come, I very well may not have come. Because the content I didn't really like last time, and I met a few people, but not that many. Lots of reasons. But my hope is that it continues because it really does provide a unique opportunity for that. And I hope that creators will continue to come, because without other YouTube creators coming, then it really is useless. Like, then there's no point. I would hope that more creators would come, that we'd be able to meet each other, we'd be able to hang out, that we'd be able to have a good time, and just make friends and create stuff. And that's what I think was good about VidCon. And my fear is that by being even remotely negative about it, people are going to read into it and think, yeah, that's something I definitely don't want to do. But I had a great time meeting and hanging out with people, hanging out with my friends, and I want to make sure that that continues. And I want to have more opportunities to meet people. I want to have more opportunities for this to carry on. So, to answer that question, yes, I think VidCon is worth it. You should definitely come, and it's only worth it if you come. Like, if you don't come, then it's not worth it. Please do come. And whenever they open the community track back up, I hope that they figure out how to do that. Obviously, then I would love to see and meet more non-creators that watch. But yeah, I just hope they figure it out. I know it's a big challenge, and I really do hope they figure it out. And I hope that next year, I plan on being here next year. assuming that everything works out and I'm able to be here. I don't know, I just hope this continues, and I hope that there's a community that builds around it, even if the event itself doesn't necessarily facilitate that community building. Like Cheryl put on a really nice evening last night, and it was a really great opportunity for everybody to just kind of hang out, get to know each other. It was a lot of fun, and if that's the way that needs to go, and we just need to kind of figure it out on our own, then that's fine. But having the excuse for everybody to come together at one location, one point in time, definitely makes for a big difference. So anyways, I hope I kept this fairly simple and straightforward, because I really want to edit it quickly and go find dinner and then maybe go straight to bed after that. But overall, I had a really good time, and I'm really glad I came. And thank you again to Paul for sponsoring the entire thing, because that was very generous of you, and I cannot wait to put some of these new Jobies to use. This is going to be, I'm going to have to figure it out. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, go back and watch my other VidCon videos from this year or the year before. Check it out. You can see my friend Alex and I swinging high above Amsterdam on a giant thing that's not here this time, unfortunately. And I will see you again bright and early tomorrow morning.